Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, and welcome to a live debate stream between myself and Cousin Cheeto. Hello, how you doing, Cousin Cheeto?
I'm spectacular.
Fantastic. Okay, if any of you guys follow our channel and follow some of the stuff we do, you know that I've been doing some fan reactions of certain trailers recently, as well as debating on other things. And I always would like to have Bob's input in things, so I'm asking him to have a look at some of these trailers with me and give me his insight on some of this shit. So first thing we're going to talk about is the most recent trailer, and that is the Mortal Kombat trailer. So we're going to pull that up right now. Hopefully a lot of you guys have seen that. Now I'm a little bit pumped for this. How about yourself, Bob?
Looks okay. I
Okay,
mean,
well
it
let's
looks definitely better than the '90s or
well
2000s version.
let's show these people this
Are we
trailer.
actually playing the trailer
Yeah,
or?
let's play it. I mean, we
Ooh,
can't just show the screen, can we?
okay.
So I'm not sure if we're going to be getting any sound out of this or not, but
Not really.
that's fine. That's totally fine. But initially, when you were seeing all of this, you obviously you see all that ice and stuff, and I mean this shot was just amazing. That shot itself, seeing all of those all that buckshot just breaking up, amazing, and seeing the origins of Jax here, fantastic. The only thing I didn't like was this new guy. Um, I don't want Mortal Kombat. If you want to pause it on him, if you want to stop it for him 1 sec, maybe it's a good stop there. I don't know who that girl is, by the way, but this new geezer, he seems to be a prominent character in this, but he doesn't seem to be a prominent character in Mortal Kombat. Did that bug you at all, Bob?
Nope, not at all.
Why is that?
Because I don't care.
All right, mate. Let's just move on then.
I mean, like I don't know. I mean, I don't like with Mortal Kombat. It's like I don't care. Like I don't. I mean, if they're introducing a brand new character, I don't mind as long as they make it a good character. But there's so many characters throughout the Mortal Kombat franchise that it's almost like you'd be disservicing some of the characters that everybody knows and loves to bring in a new one. So, but for me personally, I was not a huge Mortal Kombat player. I didn't play. I played two, and I think part of three.
Yeah.
So like I didn't. I'm not big into Mortal Kombat and all that. So I mean, was it on Sega Genesis
I,
originally?
I'm. I mean, I played the original Mortal Kombat on the Amiga 500 back in the day, I believe. It's a anyway. Keep going with the trailer.
It's probably his daughter. She looks really young.
Possibly. And Jack's there driving, hopefully with arms.
That's Katana, I imagine.
Katana.
With the size, doesn't she have
No,
katanas?
that's Melina.
Oh, that's right. Melina does have the size.
Yeah. See, that's Hanzo, aka Scorpion.
So there, it's not like something that comes out of his hand now. He just is good with that weapon.
Yeah, I was looking at this trailer again. I thought he might have come out of his hand, but no, it's just a rope and it's just a weapon, which is, in my opinion, how it should be. This I'm not so happy about. Kano being a good guy. Kano is notorious as being a villain. Jax gets his new arms pretty quick, which is good to see. I'm not sure about Raiden's hat there. That looks like Scorpion and more Scorpion. Because I mentioned in my fan reaction, Bob, that um, it's good to see some of the faces of these characters because before when they were making these games just as games, they decided to make new characters by just color coding different ninjas, and I like the fact that we're getting more than just a different colored ninja. We're seeing their face, we're seeing their personality, and that's pretty good. Let's keep going. Obviously, we don't see Sub Zero's face, but we do see obviously Scorpion's. And the actor who plays him is the same guy from Wolverine. I'm not sure if you realised. And
Dead
Westworld.
Goro.
Yeah, it was Goro there. Sub Zero seems to be a major character in this. I think he might be one of the top villains, if not the top villain henchman. See, look how he just turns the blood into an icicle. Just, I love it. I love it. I mean, that is a real homage to the games. I don't play Mortal Kombat, but I love watching the gameplay. The gameplay for that game is fantastic. When you watch real quality players playing Mortal Kombat, just love it. And I do follow the story to a degree. They have done a little reboot with a time travel thing, which seems to be the get out of jail free card when they want to shuffle things up. But nevertheless, what I saw of this trailer, it's got me interested. I mean, they're going R-rated because that's how it needs to be. You need to be swearing, you need to be bitching, you need to be gory, you need to be all of these things. Lots of characters. I don't know how many of these guys are going to get a chance to shine. It's going to be fleeting cameos. I have a feeling we're going to get a lot of that. Because you saw one clip of Shao Kahn, you saw one clip of Goro, you saw very little of Shang Tsung. They're going to be in and out of it yet, but this new geezer Cole, he's all over the fucking place. So I'm not sure if some of these characters are going to be as prominent as others, but for what I've seen so far, it looks interesting. I mean, they're keeping it very adult orientated, which is what I want it to be. You know, it's fundamental that this is an adult orientated show, a film. I mean, personally, I think they should make it a television show, but if they can make it a film and they can make it enjoyable, I'm fine with that too. What says you?
I mean, yeah, as long as it's enjoyable. I mean, that's all that honestly really matters.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess you don't want to talk about that too much.
I mean, I've always had a Facebook user. I don't. I'm gonna have to go on Facebook to see. I definitely care though. LOL. Who's that?
What's the name?
It says Facebook user. That's all it says.
Oh, fair enough.
So I'm going on to Facebook to.
Well, don't leave me hanging here. I need you to get the next trailer up, dude.
Yes, Kimosabi.
So what do you want to talk about next?
I don't care.
And what trailer would you like to pull up next?
You said Cruella's next.
Okay, why not? Sorry.
Okay. Oh, God. Okay. Whenever you're ready.
Whenever you're ready, mate. So this is definitely London, obviously. And there's Emma Stone. People, obviously, I mean,
that looks like Carrie Fisher. I'm just saying.
Really? Emma Thompson?
I don't know. Whoever this was right here. Look at that.
Yeah, her name is Emma Thompson. She's a very renowned actress.
She looks exactly like a young Carrie Fisher.
Okie dokie.
Maybe not young, but like, you know what I mean? Like
young Carrie Fisher. Yeah, okay. All right. So when I first saw this, I mean, she's drinking there, by the way, so it's pretty cool to see a Disney film like that. But I was getting Devil Wears Prada vibes out of this, as well as Joker vibes. So it's going to be obviously a combination of the two. It's good to see her henchman still in this. She's been with them for a long time.
Oh, the puppies don't like her.
Well, as a British person, I want to quickly say that her English accent's very good.
Oh yeah, this is where she like drops the.
Look how she's hunched like that. You see that? She was hunched over the wheel, just like the cartoon character was. I love that. There's little things. But this could be a really, really good movie if it wasn't for knowing what she does in the future. I'm not saying that she wants to kill puppies, but how she gets owned. She gets absolutely owned and humiliated beyond belief. How can anything good come from that?
I mean, this looks like. See, I hope this isn't like Maleficent, where they try to like make them a, you know.
No, I think she's bad from the start. I don't think you're gonna let that play. Okay, I think she's bad from the start because You know, she comes when like the first you see of her is like her walking like she's like a bloody zombie almost with a bottle of fucking whiskey and shit. You know, and I do feel what I've heard, and there might be some spoilers here, so you might want to not hear this, but I think she's a grifter in this film, and she kind of grifts her way to the top a little bit. But it's not always that straightforward, and I do feel that certain things will fuck up, which is why you don't see her at her best at certain scenes. Some scenes she's obviously looks immaculate, but there are scenes in this trailer where she looks absolutely fucked up beyond belief. And so we are going to see some ups and downs, but I do think she'll be triumphant. The only thing I'm not happy about from what I've seen is the Emma Thompson character. I don't want a pre-Cruella to Cruella. I think that's a bit stupid, personally. I mean, there's one scene when they were in that ballroom, and you could see the Emma Thompson character wearing like a half black, half white outfit. I mean, then again, pretty much everybody else was wearing black and white outfits, except for Cruella, who ended up wearing a red outfit, but she still had the black and white hair. So I don't know. I just feel things like this doesn't sit well with me because Cruella then is not really an original person. She copied somebody else, and she's following in that person's footsteps. She's almost like become that person's successor, and I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling that at all. But I still hope this film is very good. It looks like it could be a very good movie. It looks like a really good character study, something Disney don't do, especially for villains. So
It's gonna be Disney's version of the Joker, like the
yeah,
Joker movie.
yeah, with Harley Quinn as the lead, and
Yeah, pretty much.
some people are saying, you know, that after looking at this trailer, they're saying that Emma Stone could have played a great Harley Quinn. I agree. I totally agree. She looks the part. You know, just as Cruella de Vil, she looks the part. You know, when she burnt all that shit off her, she looked Harlequin beyond fucking belief. And some people were also throwing in that she reminded them of she reminded them of Michelle Pfeiffer from Catwoman. From Batman Returns, because she was wearing the mask, and there was that one scene where she was
Yeah,
dancing with Bruce Wayne and that stuff and all that sort of stuff. So,
I can see that.
are you looking forward to this movie? You could maybe.
I'm interested to see what happens with this movie. Am I really like wanting to see it? No. Well, do I want to pay money to see it? No. But
Really?
Maleficent, in my opinion, is like some of the worst Disney movies. Like the two of them.
You're the
I
first
saw the
person
first
I've
one. The
heard
second one,
to say Maleficent was a shit film.
I hated Maleficent. Those
Fair
movies were
enough.
terrible.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so let's move on to the next trailer, shall we? I think this is the one you've been looking forward to the most. It's hard to believe we never really spoke about this. So there's some marriage counselling going on between two guys who have a best friend, but they're not each other's best friend. And it's gonna be interesting to see that without the Steve Rogers dynamic to keep them together.
Yes, this one is definitely what I'm looking forward to. This is basically Captain America 4.
I really hope this is good, by the way. I really want it to be good. I'm worried it could be shit, but I hope it's good. But there's my man, my favorite MCU villain. I love Baron Zemo. Love him, man. I'm a bit one of the things about this trailer that upset me, and we'll get to that we'll come to it when we see it. Pausing it for some reason.
Oh no,
No need to pause it, by the way, but we will come to it eventually. So we see a lot of Falcon and Winter Soldier in this trailer. It is their show, so that's totally understandable. But there are other characters in this. We've hardly seen any Zemo. Good to see Sharon Carter back again. But it's this guy here, U.S. agent.
Yep, U.S. agent.
Just all we saw was his ass.
Avengers West Coast.
I'm a bit upset by that. I don't want U.S. agent to be a fleeting character. Aye. Yeah, he saves Winter Soldier there. When he goes into the trucks, he saves him. This is proper, like, this is the MCU version of a buddy cop film. Winter Soldier won that. Obviously, as a joke to Bucky Barnes being over 100 years old. But why are you
I
looking
mean,
forward to
he
this?
is.
Why are you looking forward to this?
I mean, I'm looking forward to it. As I said, it's like Captain America 4. Captain America is some of my favorite MCU movies, and anything that has Captain America in it, including the Avengers movies, is also some of my favorite movies. So, I mean, I feel like this is going to be along the vein of the Winter Soldier, but we'll delve a little bit into the superhero realm because Baron Zemo is there. And I think there's going to, like, so with the whole thing with like, I feel like with the way things are going with these Disney Plus shows, with the first couple, I think they're really pulling no punches. Like I really feel like with WandaVision and with Winter. I mean, these are legit. Like anything that we could possibly see in a MCU movie, we could possibly see on these shows because they're wanting to come out the gate strong. I mean, spoilers for WandaVision, but when X-Men's Pietro showed up, Quicksilver, everybody lost their minds. That's what they want. So I would not be surprised. I mean, we didn't even get to see the twins in WandaVision, in any of the preview material. So I mean,
Well, we saw
which
them
is
as
fine.
babies. We saw them as
We saw them
babies.
as babies, yes, but
Yeah.
I meant like them getting older. So I mean, I would not be surprised if like some other big name villains didn't show up, like Abomination.
Well,
Maybe not. I mean, maybe not in because Abomination said to be coming back in She-Hulk. Maybe he's going to show up in Falcon and Winter Soldier because they're working up to Thunderbolts, and Zemo's a big part of the Thunderbolts.
do you think this show will have any connection to WandaVision whatsoever?
I don't think so. I don't think it'll have any connection at all. Keep in mind that WandaVision takes place 3 weeks after Endgame, and I think that Falcon and Winter Soldier is supposed to take place a bit after Endgame.
So you don't think it will be just when you say a bit after Endgame, like immediately after Endgame, or not 3 weeks after?
No, WandaVision's 3 weeks after Endgame. I think Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to be probably months, maybe even a year after Endgame.
Hey, Phony Beatlemaniac, how you doing? So
We get
yeah, I know what I know what you mean. I am not so sure because all these theories we've been giving out on WandaVision, um, regarding who the aerospace engineer could be. Why couldn't it be Sam Wilson, the Falcon?
because he's a pilot. He's not an
Yeah, but
engineer.
he's flying that shit. He must know some stuff. Like you don't fly
He's a
that
pilot. He
you
knows
don't
how
fly
to pilot.
you don't fly that jetpack without knowing how to work it.
Okay.
I
I,
just
I I never really considered that one, but I mean that
okay.
works. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
a
but I
lot of
noticed
people are
you, mate.
theorizing Hank McCoy, which I don't know. I don't know if they're going to commit to that just yet.
I would
You know what
love
I
it for
mean? Like,
I would love it for to be. I like to call him Henry. I love it for to be Henry McCoy. Personally, I think it would be good to see another. Apparently, he's got like 6 PhDs, so throw in another brain. And you know what pisses me off about Beast? He's such an articulate, smart person, but not often enough, even in the cartoons, do we see Beast using his intellect. He'll be very philosophical, and maybe say something nice to motivate the team or bring people down to earth. But the super brain aspect of Beast, we never see enough. And if we could see that in Henry McCoy prior to him turning blue, helping out WandaVision, I'm cool with that.
well, I mean, he's always been um I mean, even in the comic books, like before, I mean, he was not blue initially. He turned blue in like the 70s. Well, maybe late 60s. I don't remember. I think it was in the Avengers comic books that he turned. Because I mean, technically, Beast has been in Avengers since like the 70s.
Fair
So
enough. Avenger, X Men, it's all the same to
yeah,
me.
he before Scarlet Witch became a major across. Well, I don't even want to say before, but I mean, right around the time Scarlet Witch became a major Avengers X-Men crossover character, Beast was already doing it. I'd have to look up the dates, but I'm pretty sure that it was right there.
Fair enough.
So Beast has been an Avenger for a long time.
Okay, well, if not Henry McCoy, and if not Sam Wilson, do you think it'll be someone significant, or maybe
I think it's gonna. I think my rational brain says it's going to be Blue Marvel, and I don't remember the guy's real name. Um, However, with the rate they're going, and if they're wanting to keep on shocking us, I would not be surprised if John Krasinski shows up as Reed Richards.
I think something like that would have.
I'm just saying. I would. My rational brain says no. My irrational Marvel head brain says they're going to give it to us. I don't. I really. I mean, as I said, my rational brain says no. Though I think Pietro was kind of like the big reveal, and then there'll be one more big reveal towards the end of the season.
Maybe not a reveal, but definitely. How about a twist, like something shocking, in a sense.
Like Wanda's not really Wanda.
No, I don't.
Dun
I
dun
don't. I can't.
dun.
I can't necessarily put words to it. But this is obviously leading, and we've stopped kind of even talking about Falcon Winter Soldier. But WandaVision itself is kind of leading onto onto other things like you know Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So there must be something left open at the end of this season to lead into that. And I feel that's
I
going to
really
be the
don't
shocker.
think they're. I don't think so.
I think Wanda's going to be the antagonist in Doctor Strange. I don't think she's going to be working side by side with Doctor Strange, especially after what the fuck she's done now. I mean, she's
Oh,
really going
I think.
over
I
the
mean, you
cliff.
might be. There's a good chance that you're right about her being the antagonist. I've always said that she needs to be like the main villain of Phase 4, 5, 6, or whatever. Because I mean, just her powers just make it. And I mean, we're looking down the barrel of X-Men. Like they've already announced the Fantastic Four. I think X-Men is going to come not long after Fantastic Four comes out. Like
I
the rate that they're going and the way that they're kind of showing things, I feel like phase 5 and phase 6 is going to be very X-Men centric. The other thing that I heard that I don't necessarily agree with is the fact that they were saying that X-Men would be primarily a Disney Plus thing that would spin off into movies. Like, you would have, certain characters having like a Disney Plus show, and then it would, spin off into the X-Men franchise or whatever. Like, so I heard a little bit about that, and I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, I don't know.
I'm not sure how to feel about it, but knowing that this show is going to be leading into Doctor Strange too is pretty interesting. I mean, I'm glued to this show right now. I think it's one of the best things on television. Um, I'm not too fussed if they do it right. I'm not too fussed. Um, Sometimes television shows might be the best route, especially when you're dealing with a humongous cast. Like when you've got the X Men, it's like endless depending on what group of X Men they decide to do. There's so many of them to give them all the same amount of screen time. Um, in one movie is not the right way forward. The right way forward is to maybe give some of these guys more individual moments, and if you could do that in a television show, you could do that in solo movies. So when you do get together, it doesn't feel too bad if certain people get more screen time than others. For instance, in Infinity Wars, Captain America had fuck all to do. All he had to do was take fucking Vision from Scotland to Wakanda. That was his job, and then maybe be back up to Black Panther. Yeah, and that there was not much in the story. Like he didn't have the same sort of story as Thor did. He didn't have the same sort of story as Iron Man did, and he's one of the top three. But we didn't
Well,
care.
and I think that's why because they knew Captain America was going to be very essential to until the Endgame story.
Well,
And I think
all
that's
three
kind
of
of why
them,
they
all
helped.
three of them were like Thor became went through depression. Iron Man had a kid, and obviously Captain America got a chance to retire. But even though Captain America didn't get full bidding in Infinity Wars, it didn't matter so much because we knew who he was. He had plenty of time in other films, and whatever we did get out of Captain America, him being Steve Rogers, the lovely man that he is, we appreciated it. You know, the way he helped to save Vision, because one of the, just sorry, I know we're going on tangents here, but one of the things I love
I
about
think that's kind of the point, though.
yeah,
We can go on tangents.
one of the things I loved about Infinity Wars was the fact that Steve Rogers did not have his shield. He was more than just his shield. And I hated the shields that Wakandans gave him. They were fucking pathetic. I'd rather just give him a black circular one, like his old shields. But nevertheless, I like the fact that he didn't have that at all in that movie. And he finally became more than just that shield. The shield was simply an extension of him, not him. And he didn't need it in Infinity Wars. Like the chair he got in when people saw him in the audience reactions in Infinity Wars, when they saw him, they didn't give a fuck if he had a shield or not. He just kicked ass, and he did it with a smile on his face.
So we have Vicky Woolette, who said midday from Kiwi Land.
Oh, hello,
I
Vicky.
actually have no idea what you guys are talking about, as not a Star Wars fan, but I just
We're talking Marvel.
I just I love listening Zam's voice / accent.
Yes,
So there you go, Zam. You got a fangirl.
Yeah, I know. I've known Vicky for a few years, and
Oh,
she's part of the atheist community I know, and she's from New Zealand. Lovely lady. She shows me lovely pictures of her life in New Zealand. It looks really cool and stuff like that. So, yeah, she's a friend of
well,
mine.
Zam, I like listening to your accent too.
Everyone loves the accent. What can I say? But I kind of lost my train of thought. But yeah, she was. We were talking about Star Wars. We're talking about the MCU. The Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Well, there is something Star Wars related that we could talk about. I think we kind of did talk about already, but
I want to quickly stick with Wanda for a little bit, if you don't mind. But I'm happy for you to bring it in. So
that's fine. I don't care.
we very briefly.
Vicky also says that she is a fangirl of Zam's. So
Oh, thank you, Vicky.
show them a little nip slip. Come on, Zam.
Are you what? This is a fucking family show, mate.
Oh, it's a family show.
Yeah. So, anyways, as we said earlier,
the milk generator.
as we said earlier, like people are going on about who will be the next Thanos of this next phase, and after seeing WandaVision, I want Wanda to be the next Thanos of this next phase. I want future MCU movies where bad guys win, because from my recollection, there's only 2 films. Maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but there's only 2 films where the bad guys won, and that's Civil War, and that's Infinity Wars.
Pretty much. I mean, Doctor Doom I think we've talked about this one, but like Doctor Doom would be a good one to get a win or 2 over on the Avengers or the superheroes.
But I don't want it to be a Doctor Who. Back to Doctor Who. I don't want it to be Doctor Doom centric movie if that's the case, because then he's going to win. But it would be nice to see a film where it's like when you think, for instance, the Fantastic Four. Okay, we're going to watch the Fantastic Four, and and the villain is Doctor Doom. But why don't we call it Doctor Doom, and we follow the villain of Doctor Doom and how he has to handle the Fantastic Four? It's like the reverse of making it, and then maybe Doctor Doom wins it, or maybe we could have a Guardians of the Galaxy movie where Adam Warlock kicks their ass in the 3rd film. I would love to see more villains win in the MCU. I really feel the MCU needs to lose, like the good guys. They need to lose a little bit more than what they're losing. I don't know how you feel.
I don't 100% agree. I mean, I think it would be interesting to see, the main baddie. But let's look at the whole Wanda being the main villain thing. I mean, they've acknowledged several times in canon in MCU that if Wanda, if it was a fair fight between Wanda and Thanos, Wanda would have won.
When you say fair fight, you mean not using magic?
Huh?
She has to use her magic, or it's not a fair. She has to use her magic, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, no, I meant like in a fight where like you're not using like big space lasers and stuff. Like if it was a one-on-one fight, Thanos as himself versus Wanda as herself, Wanda would have won. And I feel like people are overlooking that fact because they're like, oh, how can Wanda be the next baddie? Because she's badder, like she's a bigger bad than Thanos.
This is where like even people who know, I mean, I've become a mildly knowledgeable comic book fan over the years because I don't keep up with the comics like I did when I was younger. But even I know that Scarlet Witch is one of the most dangerous mutants of all time. With a force, you can change shit. And if people realize that, and I think they're realizing that in WandaVision, and like I said, this could be hopefully sowing the seeds for her to be a lot more potentially bigger than what she is now. I would love for her to be just like, excuse the pun, but just like snapping people away for fun. I would love for the fact that the good guys just cannot figure out a way of stopping her, and I want her to turn heel. As far as I'm concerned, she has turned heel. I think she's a bad guy at this particular moment. The Agana Harkness thing in WandaVision obviously needs to be played out, and Pietro as well needs to be answered, as well as even Vision himself needs to be answered. But I would love for Wanda to be the bad guy. I would love for her to just be fucking shit up for everybody, and nobody could stop her, and it just takes every Avenger possible, and it's just her versus everyone. It's just like amazing. I would love to see something like that. I really would. I would love to. Whatever new film they come out, like I just for her just to intervene and just fuck it up for everyone. Like you people, it's like we're watching maybe Shang-Chi, and all of a sudden Wanda just comes out of nowhere and just blows shit up because she can. I would love something.
I no, I don't want.
No, but that could be correlated to another story where certain shit's happening when we could see that movie for what it's for, and they just happen to fly over a part of China or something, and so that shit gets smashed up, and then we cut to the Shang-Chi movie and we see them in China and they're fighting and whatever, he's in fighting and stuff, and all of a sudden his fight is interrupted because Wanda's doing all her craziness where she's fucking shit up for the whole planet. And, mix it up, cross it over like that. It would be amazing if they did shit like that. That's how I want it to be. Really immerse the fucking universe, not just stupid guest cameos here and there. Cross it over that it affects, like one movie from the other. Like one film's playing out here, another film's playing out there, but somehow those two films have crossed over at some point. The two films itself, not just the actors, the films have crossed over. That's what I want to fucking see. You know what I mean? Do you see where I'm coming from?
I do, and I disagree, but I know where you're coming from.
No, why do you disagree?
I disagree because you can't have that's too much. Like
that's the next level in my opinion. That's the next stage to cross over the movies.
Well, I think then you get a lot of convoluted, mushy mush. I mean, if you have it, it needs to be structured that. Like if you have that kind of crossover, like in Civil War, it needs to be structured that way. I mean, I like the fact that these guys have their own. Huh?
Sorry, I'm just talking to the chat, but go on.
Oh, but I like how it needs to be structured that way. Like it needs to pertain to what's going on. I don't like the idea of them just going like, Shang-Chi's fighting. Oh wait, there goes Wanda. She's blowing shit up. Okay, now we're back to this fight. And no,
it doesn't have to necessarily be like that. I just want to quickly get to Bossman's message. I think Wanda could be pushed by these events into evil. She is Magneto's daughter, yeah. But Wanda, even in Magneto as well, they're not in the comics. They're not necessarily good guys, and they're not bad guys. There's a lot of grey characters when it comes to the X-Men. Loads of them. Because of the prejudice angles and stuff like that. And that's what makes Wanda such a great villain, because she's a great villain, and she's a great villain to us because we kind of understand her villainy, which is what makes her such a great character to be a villain, the top tier villain. We've watched her lose her brother, and we watched her lose her lover twice, and possibly by the end of this show, maybe 3 fucking times. So there's a lot to come from this. I think there's a lot of sadness. We don't even know if her kids are going to genuinely be her kids, because in the House of M, when she realizes that the kids can't leave the illusion, she loses her fucking shit. And if that happens, wow, I think we're on the cusp of seeing how powerful Wanda is. I don't think she's known the full potential of her power. She is Anakin Skywalker, for fuck's sake. In Marvel form, she doesn't know her full potential, but she won't end up in a robotic suit, that's for sure. I cannot wait for tomorrow's episode. I'm very much looking forward to it. And I've actually got another theory here to add to Wonder, if you don't mind me going on, boss man, Bob.
Ah, that's fine.
Now, if any of you guys saw the last episode of Wonder Vision, you would know that the character of Haywood has a real prejudice towards superpowered beings. He doesn't like them. He thinks superpowered beings are dangerous people. Now that mindset is very much a pronounced mindset in the X-Men universe of human beings being very afraid of mutants. This mindset could easily spread among other people once the mutants do come in on the scene. Now, which character in the MCU currently looks like a fucking Sentinel? You know who it is? It's Vision.
Me.
It's not you, it's Vision.
Me.
Vision looks like a goddamn Sentinel. And I believe the experiments Hayward was doing on Vision in WandaVision, shit we know already from seeing the current episodes, was him trying to maybe blueprint the fucking Sentinels through Vision's body. And I really hope this happens. I really hope that the early signs of the Sentinels look a tiny bit like Vision. I don't want it to look like Paul Bettany, but I definitely want it to look like a tiny bit like Vision, because we can see the origins of the Sentinels. And I this theory is really I'm loving this theory. We see the beginning of the disdain of superpowered beings, who will end up being mainly the mutants, because most superpowered beings will be the mutants eventually. And we will also see hopefully the birth of the Sentinels. If this pans out, I'll be the most happiest man on the planet. What do you think of that idea, Bob?
I mean, that's fine. I mean, it makes sense. It's a good theory. I mean, I could definitely see them going that way. I was trying to think if Haywood was anyone in the X-Men universe, but I don't think he is.
No, but there's always been like forgettable political characters who, or people.
Well, but also Haywood might be selling the Vision schematics or research or whatever to Boulevard Trask, who is the one who invents the Sentinels.
Oh yes.
So now here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
If let me phrase this right. If we do get Boulevard Trask,
Yeah, I know where you're going with this.
Do you want him to be Peter Dinklage?
Well, Peter Dinklage is already in the MCU.
I know, but he's like a dwarf alien. You know, he's a dwarf that's huge.
Well, do you remember in Captain America's First Avenger, after Captain America becomes like Super Steve Rogers and he's got muscles and everything, he's just not used to all the girls being attracted to him, and one of the girls gives him a kiss. This actress, ended up being Star-Lord's mum, Peter Quill's mum, on her deathbed at the beginning of Guardians of the Galaxy.
The actress. I'm like, what?
Yeah, the actress. And because of that, it's now being retconned that woman who kissed Steve Rogers is Peter Quill's grandmother. Because of this.
I mean, sure, why not? Well, that's like the whole, the kid with the Iron Man mask in Iron Man 2 was Peter Parker. Like, that's not what they were doing. Like,
I know.
It doesn't hurt anything that they say that's that, but that's not how they planned that. Like, whatever. Like,
I know that, but I'm fine with that.
They just retro canon things, and that's fine as long as it makes sense and it doesn't like make things convoluted. I'm okay with it, but still, it's like
to answer your question about Peter Dinklage playing Bolivar Trask again. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Totally fine.
I would be too. I mean, as I said, I get it. Like, it would be like everybody would be like, "Oh, that's the dwarf from Infinity War," and I'd just be like, "Okay, Peter Dinklage is great. I want more of him."
How we're gonna do this regarding the X-Men? Because is it really going to be all the Fox actors coming back? Because last I heard, Jennifer Lawrence wanted nothing to do with playing Mystique anymore, which is why she got killed off so early in Dark Phoenix.
I think that they are going to I mean, I think they're gonna pick and choose. Like like they wanted to do the Quicksilver thing because
But Evan Peters is a smart man. He knows he needs to latch on to Quicksilver because that will be his character. And if you have an established character in television, you will be linked to it, and you'll always get work for it.
yeah, especially with MCU. I mean,
yeah,
um, but I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of the X-Men characters from like Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix that I actually liked. And truth be told, I'm not going on a Fox rant, but I actually enjoyed Dark Phoenix. Not like I didn't think it was a great movie. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here saying, "Oh, it's a great movie. I don't know why people hate it." But I like the fact that it was focused on the X-Men. You know what I mean? Like it was a good X-Men movie in
I
my opinion. Like
I
it was I
I have
like
to agree with you, by the way, because I think the reason why my issues with I think my not my issues, but everyone was shitting on Dark Phoenix, and when I watched it, I thought to myself, okay, this is not the best movie in the world, but it's not. It's definitely not the worst. It's not the worst
it's not even the worst
X
X-Men
Men.
movie.
It's definitely not the worst X Men movie, and
I mean, I like the fact that yeah, they got rid of Mystique in the beginning, which honestly was a blessing because I put less focus on Jennifer Lawrence. It let us, watch more of Michael Fassbender and the girl that I can't remember her name, who plays Jean Grey. And
Sophie
we got
Turner.
more time with Scott and Jean. There was no Wolverine around. Like it was a good you had Nightcrawler in there and Storm in there. It was a good
Yeah,
X
but
movie.
they benched Quicksilver very early in the film, which left a sour taste in my mouth, and
They did.
they did
I've only seen it once, so I mean,
they did like he's they the opening is where him and Kurt, Nightcrawler, that is, they they go into that space shuttle to save all those astronauts,
oh yeah,
and then when they come back, and somehow the vortex in space has gone through um, through Jean Grey and has turned her into the Phoenix now, and then when she's full on Phoenix and shit, um, Quicksilver tries to run on some debris to try and get to her, and then she like flips him like this, so goes fuck off, and he goes flying back into the background and breaks into some tables and shit like that, and he's out. He's benched for the rest of the for the film.
oh, both,
I think Magneto in the Michael Fassbender Magneto has been used very poorly in the Fox universe. I think.
I mean, he was good in First Class. Days of Future Past, he was okay.
Apocalypse
Um,
was awful,
yeah,
awful.
Apocalypse was, although I did like him in the beginning, like with the family and everything. Like that was some good fucking Fassbender. Like, I'm sorry, like. The Apocalypse may not be the best X-Men movie, but Fassbender was on point at the beginning of that movie, like with his family and everything.
Are they going to redo
Um,
Days of Future Past? Well, the point is, Boss Man, Days of Future Past was the redo. You know, that was the film that was supposed to link all everything, and it did a really good job, by the way. It explained why Henry McCoy, is Beast, not Beast, because he can change it at will, which was a bit different than before. But okay, um, it made sense of Charles Xavier being able to walk and not walk. Unfortunately, though, in the end of the first Wolverine movie, he was walking around using his psychedelic powers. So there is some holes in the continuity, but nevertheless, he did a good job of linking the previous X Men films to the current ones, and I can't grudge it on that. I like Days of Future Past. I'm not sure about yourself.
I did. I liked it. I liked it a lot actually. Um,
I
it's
mean,
probably
yeah,
my. I can't say it's my favorite of the newer X-Men movies because I want to say First Class is probably my favorite. And I think it was more of a shock because I looked at the cast and I looked at the characters and I'm like, or not the cat, like I didn't have a problem with the cast, but like the characters, I'm like, what is going on? Like we have Banshee, we have like Pixie, we have Havoc, we have like what's going
I
on?
just got gutted that Iceman lost his head so early in the film. That really upset me for some reason. It's like, come on, man, you're not doing this guy any justice whatsoever. He should
Yeah, but he
be.
came back after they did the
Yeah,
reset.
but they should. I don't know. Like, I really felt there was a like after seeing him grow up, you finally want to see him be an X-Men. Like he turned into Iceman proper at the end of X-Men 3. Now let's give him, you know, a more front and center role. But no, they just chopped his fucking head off like it was nothing. But
I don't know if it was like nothing, but
I just want to quickly ask you a question about that movie because at the end of Days of Future Past, Wolverine's consciousness leaves that body and goes back to his future body. Is that correct?
yes.
Or it doesn't happen.
Well, what happens is that while he's being while their Kitty Pryde is doing whatever she does, that's my most frustrating part of that movie is because they don't explain how Kitty can do this time travel.
Yeah, I thought she was just a fucking person who can walk through walls.
But I mean, yeah, how can you walk through walls, but then like you can send people back in time? I don't know.
Yeah.
But but like
Wolverine's consciousness.
Once they break that hold, everything that like everything runs concurrent. Like time from when Wolverine goes back to time in the future runs concurrent, and then once Kitty breaks that link, all this stuff takes hold, and then the changes take effect, and that's why Wolverine woke up with the Xavier Institute restored and all that other stuff.
Okay, so the Wolverine that was still left in the 70s was the Wolverine that has now got his original consciousness back. Who God knows where his consciousness went, by the way, whilst his future self was invading his body. But nevertheless, so he ended up.
That's some Wonder Woman 1984 type of shit.
Yeah, but it's the same person this time. But nevertheless, so that Wolverine ended up being the one taken by Stryker, who we see as the Wolverine in X-Men Apocalypse, correct? With the fucking
well, the Wolverine in X-Men Apocalypse would have been the Wolverine that was there. That would have been a different conscious Wolverine. Like it would have been the same Wolverine because as everything was happening concurrently, then it would have continued from there.
Yes, and the continuation, because Wolverine from the future changed the destiny of his past self by going a different route because he was trying to stop the Sentinels he tried to stop Bolivar Trask being killed by Mystique, and because he done that, he ended up creating a new future for himself. So once he left his consciousness, his old past self ended up having to take a new route, which ended up being him being in Apocalypse with the helmet on. I believe Stryker takes him away at the end of that film as well, his body away.
Yeah,
I can do without X-Men for a while. It's been a while since we've had an X-Men, to tell you the truth, Boss Man. By the time we do get one.
So we have somebody in our waiting room.
Who's that?
I think it's Block.
Go on, Nick, bring him in.
And he's gone.
Jesus, that was an intro. I thought we were going to finally hear something from him, but nothing at all.
Oh, wait, nope, he's back.
Okay.
Block.
I told you my signal's bad.
It's okay. You've got that hillbilly signal. It's all good, man. We understand. How's it going in those parts? Are you still covered in snow?
I'm not, but I know surrounding areas are.
Is it still very cold?
It's like 40, so.
What's that in
Fahrenheit?
What's that in Celsius?
No, we don't use that over here. It's a little above 0 Celsius, I guess. Then.
Fair enough. I didn't know that.
0.
I guess. I mean, he's gone. It's all those wind turbines and stuff like that, just fucking up his signal, I guess. But yes, that was the
now
block.
He's back.
Oh, he's back.
I'll have to wait till I get Wi-Fi or something. I'll just listen and comment or something.
No problem. Did you see any of our trailers which we were commenting on earlier? Any of those interested you?
What, for the Mortal Kombat movie?
Yeah. What do you think of that?
Oh, I never liked video game movies.
Yeah,
except the first Resident Evil movie was kind of good, I guess.
It was okay in bits and pieces, I agree. But didn't you think that at least that Mortal Kombat trailer was like... Nice picture of your crotch, by the way. But didn't you think that Mortal Kombat trailer was remotely being to its origins by being R-rated, having swear words, gory graphics, gory, lots of murder, destruction, people getting stabbed in the head. Isn't that what you want to see in a Mortal Kombat film?
I mean, if they're gonna do it, yeah, do it that way. I think didn't we have a Mortal Kombat movie in the
Jeez.
'90s where they tried to recreate the actual video game? Like they
Sam,
had
that's
Johnny
Gemini,
Cage.
by the way.
Oh, that's okay. Okay, fair enough.
But that was Gemini,
Butt Grimes.
the comment.
I kind of lost what Block was saying a little bit. He kind of broke up a bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, well, anyway, so we were talking. What were you guys talking about?
Oh, I was talking to him about Mortal Kombat, but I kind of forgot where I was. What I was talking about earlier. I think. Oh, with damn, got all these bloody messages coming through. But I think we've spoken enough then, Bob. Want to wrap it up?
I mean, that's up to you. I mean, if you want to wrap up, we can.
Yeah, I think so too. Let me just quickly read some of the messages here before we finish this. Bossman's also said that after the age of Apocalypse and Phoenix films, X-Men can aid up for a bit. I guess I know what you mean, Bossman. But by the time we do get the new X-Men stuff, I think enough time will have passed. But I don't think we'll be getting an X-Men film for at least a couple of years, and by then, what, a good 5 or 6 years have passed between that and Dark Phoenix, roughly, yeah. So that'd be a good time, to bring in a twist. And if they are going to bring in a lot of these actors who are in the Fox universe, like James McAvoy, like Michael Fassbender, we don't want these motherfuckers aging out of their roles. Before you know it, they'll end up looking like Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen anyway. So we don't want that to happen too soon. Get them while they've still got some energy in them.
I do want to ask you something. If there's anyone from the Fox universe that you want to debut in Falcon and Winter Soldier, who would it be? Like if they came to you and they said, "Look, we love the show. You have to debut one character in Falcon and the Winter Soldier from the X-Men universe." It doesn't even have to be the same actor. Like I'm just talking about you can introduce a new person, or a character from the Fox universe.
I would love to see Ray Park do his role of Toad again from X-Men 1. Yeah, because I like Ray Park. And
elderly Toad. I mean, he's not elderly, but you know what I mean. Like Ray Park's much older than he was back then.
Yeah, I guess, and he's got a bit of timber now as well. But he's a professional athlete, so I'm sure he can shed that off. But I would love to see, and maybe that timber might work for him in the role of Toad, being somebody who looks a little bit. Who I
want to see come back?
Go on.
I want the Brotherhood of Mutants to come in, but I want Liv Schreiber as Sabretooth, the guy who played Blob in Wolverine, Origins Wolverine as Blob, I would want a Toad. Not gonna lie.
You see, the reason why I chose Toad, but I feel that he could be an interesting character for Falcon and Winter Soldier to have to deal with, and he's not too over the top. As a character, like his origins. I mean, they could go a different route, like they've done with Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
Penguin, he's just like from Burton's Batman. He's kind of just deformed and has abilities.
Well, he could be a reject from Thunderbolt Ross's experiments. He could be and that would be I'm liking that already. I'm liking that thought.
I mean, you get a lot of agility, and I mean, Toad actually, believe it or not, Toad is a joke character a lot. But honestly, if you think about it, I mean, he's as nimble as Spider-Man. I don't know if he has super strength, but if he had super strength, I mean, Toad could be actually a decent character.
I mean, if his strength is just that he's got a very strong tongue and stuff like that, I'm cool with that too. He's nimble and stuff. His tongue is like a fifth arm, a fifth leg. However you want to look at it, it's a weapon as well, and if they use it right, I have no problems. And I can't see him being an unstoppable force, but definitely a massive speed bump for Falcon and Winter Soldier. But I wouldn't want him to be a joke character, and I feel the fact that Ray Park played him didn't make him a joke character. I never looked at him as a joke character. I didn't like the way he died, or if he did die, at the end of X-Men 1. Do you know what happens to a Toad when they're hit by lightning? just like everything else. It's like, oh, shut up, Halle Berry, don't ever speak again.
That was a Joss Whedon, or was that Joss Whedon? I think it was a Joss Whedon joke.
It's the worst thing I ever heard in my life. All about Galactus, third going, got to go in the third. G-O, what's he mean by GOTG film?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, Galactus in Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, look, Thanos was introduced to us as a proper character in Guardians of the Galaxy. Regarding Galactus, if you do introduce him, he's not the big bad. He's just an introduction, a piece in the jigsaw to eventually a bigger jigsaw puzzle that will lead us to him. But he's not he's not the main cause of Guardians of the Galaxy 3. He's not the Guardians' cause, that is. He's not who they're going after, but they will know about him. They might be introduced to him. I wouldn't mind that in that sense. Like I said, they've done it with Thanos. They could do it with Galactus. But
I mean, I have my my Captain Marvel 2 fan film, like not fan film, fan script or whatever, and it involves Galactus, about Carol Danvers having to fight Galactus and just to establish that, just to establish the level of power of Galactus, and like just Galactus just Raffle stomps her, like as a part of that, if they did Captain Marvel in the past. But
well, funny enough, there's a rumor I've heard that they might try to do a relationship between Captain Marvel and Thor.
I mean, there was a lot of talk of that when the trailers for Endgame came out. Like there was a lot of that trailer where he catches the hand, and like they said, oh, the chemistry. It's like, I don't want that.
Well, for a start, I mean, we're gonna get, regarding Thor, we're gonna see a lot more of him in his own solo movie in Love and Thunder, but we're also gonna see, I believe, Jane Foster play Thor in that film.
I'm done with Jane Foster. Like Natalie Portman's Jane Foster.
But I think you're doing this a discredit here, a disservice here, because one of the good things about this cinematic universe is the way they're pulling up materials from the comics. They're not just saying, okay, he was a comic book character and he's a comic book character, let's just go and put them together and create our own unique story. No, they're using as much of the comic books and making it viable in the cinematic universe. So I have no problems. Sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought. Can you remind me what I'm going on about?
Well, I mean,
Oh, sorry, about Jane Foster and stuff like that. Yeah. But I'm just saying, I have no problems with her coming back. I have no problems with her being in the fourth movie. Natalie Portman's opened her up her eyes and realised that being part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is better than not being part of it. And it'll be interesting to see where her character goes. It really will be. To see her becoming Thor. That's bizarre. Okay. No?
I mean, because I really don't feel like Thor is like Thor anymore. Like, it sounds weird, but like, I don't think of now after Ragnarok, Infinity War, and Endgame, I don't think of Thor as like the original Thor, like the Hammer Thor. Like I feel like he's something completely different now, which is fine. Because if they want Jane Foster to be the new Thor, honestly, I would much rather them go like Jamie Alexander Sif. I would make her the new Thor, or Beta Ray Bill. Bring him in. Like I love Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah, a lot of people do. I mean, his face is in Thor Ragnarok.
Well, he was supposed to have an actual part in Thor Ragnarok, but I mean, they had to cut it due to the time and yada yada.
I think whether we get him fully is one thing, but there is a difference here, by the way, because the best thing about Jane Foster is that she's been in 2 films already, so we know who she is. Like Beta Ray Bill, we need to do some development for him before we make him the mainstay. Especially now with a more established universe, you can't just throw someone in there. The thing about Jane Foster being the new Thor, we know who she is, and hopefully the reason why her and Thor broke up will be explained. Whether they get back together or not, I don't give a fuck.
I hope not. Like, look, I don't have a problem with Jane Foster being in the movie. I don't want a relationship between Jane and Thor. I feel like we've moved past that. Like, if the Jane Foster character shows back up, that's fine. But like, and she becomes Thor, whatever. But like with the hammer. But I don't want to. Like, I feel like one of the things that distracted from a Thor movie, like the first two Thor movies, was Jane Foster. Now, if she's like a active participant in the story, where she's like, like kind of like Loki. Like Loki in a lot of the Thor movies was a primary part. If she wants to be a primary part, not a damsel in distress, like in the previous movies, I'm okay with that. But like, I don't want her to be there and
if
just
she's
be
gonna
like
be
Thor's
Thor,
side piece.
if she's going to be Thor in the new movie, then she's definitely not going to be a damsel in distress. But the fact that she can hold a hammer and Thor can't, I find a bit weird. What does Thor do to make him no longer worthy?
Well, just because Jane Foster is worthy does not mean that Thor is not worthy.
Yeah, I do agree on that because we've already seen Thor and Steve Rogers hold the hammer simultaneously.
Yeah.
So I understand that. But I believe in Love and Thunder, Thor loses his worthiness. And I think it's to do with Jane Foster, which is why he loses his worthiness. And because, like I said, there's times when I think to myself, Jesus Christ, Thor, what you just said there, you should no longer be worthy. He told Bruce Banner he was going to rip his head off if he called him Dumbo one more time, in Thor Ragnarok. Because at the moment he goes, Dumbo. It's like, you're calling me Dumbo. Why are you calling me Dumbo? And like Bruce Banner's going, Dumbo. You're Dumbo. And like, and Thor's like going, stop calling me Dumbo. And Bruce Banner's still calling him Dumbo. And he goes, if you call me Dumbo one more time, I'm going to rip your head off. And then Bruce Banner explains, which is, I can't give you that explanation because I forgot the explanation. But the funny thing is, he was calling him Dumbo all the time, and Thor actually threatened to rip off this man's head, his friend's head. How can he still be worthy after that? And I think, and also on top of that, when he was in Norway gaming at the beginning of Endgame, and he went on, Noob Master, and he told Moon Master how he was going to like beat him up or something like that. How can he be worthy? Like just telling some random kid he's going to hurt them because they're gaming and he might be trolling his rock-sized mate. I find that a bit weird. Sorry for boring the fuck out of you. I do apologize.
No, you're not boring me. I'm listening. I'm just
okay. No problem. Well, I want to wrap this up, by the way, but let me just see what Bossman has to say. This is my issue. Kill off villains, and I have to stretch my knowledge. I know what you mean. This is what I was telling Bossman. I was telling Bob here that I want the villains to win more in the MCU in the future. I want them to have films which are maybe like I said. If you have a Fantastic Four movie, it's going to be called Fantastic Four, but the villain's going to be Doctor Doom. But why don't you call it a Doctor Doom movie where you're focusing on a villain who has to fight the Fantastic Four? See it from that perspective, and maybe the villain wins. Or you can have Guardians in the Galaxy 3, and maybe Adam Warlock wins, or whoever wins, and the Guardians lose in their own movie. Have a few more victories for the bad guy. I think we're at a stage now, 3 phases in, about to begin our 4th. I think we're deep enough into this universe to let the bad guys win a few fucking films.
Okay.
Disable have them learn from the mistakes. Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay, so I think we're done here, Bobby. So let's wrap this up. You got anything more to say before I close this? Whilst you're looking at your phone.
No, I'm good. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I think I feel like here's the thing. I feel like if we introduce the Fantastic Four in an Avengers movie, then you can do a Doctor Doom movie that has the Fantastic Four in it. If you're doing a Fantastic Four origin movie, then you need to have Doctor Doom can't be the main baddie. Like make the Mole Man the main baddie.
The Mole Man. Why the Mole Man?
The Mole Man.
I'm not that familiar with Fantastic Four villains, but is he a Fantastic Four villain?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mole Man was, I think, in Fantastic Four #1. Actually, he's like the first baddie that they ever fought. I
Well,
think.
fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, let's wrap this shit up. I'm very tired. It's gone past midnight. I'm done. So, Bob, thanks very much for this debate. It's been really great. We're going to be back tomorrow talking WandaVision, episode 7, and we might, if we can get a guest to join us, if one of you guys watch WandaVision and you want to join us, please let us know. If you're on Facebook, let us know. If you're on YouTube, leave us a comment, let us know, and you can join us tomorrow for some WandaVision. It'll be around about this time when we'll be doing our chat, I guess. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Unless I get off work earlier, but I mean, it's a Friday, so.
All right, wonderful. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye.